Alright there folks, this is the Sports Hub. Welcome to the first video on the channel, and this will make start of a series that we're going to be doing, hopefully on sort of a daily basis. So if you're going to like this kind of stuff, make sure to hit the sub button straight up so you don't forget. And then let me know if you are trying something similar to what I'm doing here or not. That would be great. But let's get into the meat of the video. So this is going to be called the Bankroll Builder, and yeah, hold on till I go over to this site. So there's this site that I've been looking at for a little while. It's called freesupertips.co.uk, and they put tips up on this every day. I mean, this is a super active website. They also have a very good app, and they also are very they're on Twitter. That's the one I follow anyway. They are very active on Twitter, but from about maybe 8 o'clock in the morning until midnight every day, so it's quite good. So they give a lot of tips. They have a Friday win accumulator, both teams to score accumulator, both teams to score and win accumulator, match goals. They have a correct score double, and then the bankroll builder there at the bottom. So, and you can also go in and view the tips for certain matches that are taking place. They also, they have a ton. If you come up here and you click more tips, you can see they have so much. They have darts, boxing, tennis, UFC, everything else. Now, I also will state on it somewhere, I think here, if I can find it. Maybe not on this page, but we'll go ahead and click on the bankroll builder up here. So let me see if it tells you here. Anyway, while we're down at this length, I'll show you. So these are the season results, and you can see that they're making money. Okay, so they are making money following these tips that they're providing, which is important. And across the board, on a lot of their tips, they are making money. And they've been going for quite a while. Like, we're talking a few years that they've been around. So the idea behind the bankroll builder is to focus on high quality tips each day. We post single bets to give us the best chance of making long-term profit. To follow the bankroll builder, you'll need patience and discipline, but you could be rewarded with making a steady profit on a monthly basis. Bets will be posted by 12 PM each day and include the 3-star rating system seen in our match previews. So setting yourself a betting bankroll, money that you will only use for gambling. One thing to note is that it's important to use the money you can afford to lose. Don't use your rent money and stuff like that. And then the staking plan. So once you have your bankroll, we recommend sticking to a sensible staking system. You can do this by simply dividing your total bankroll into a percentage and placing the bet according to your system. For example, if you start with a £500 bankroll, then a sensible stake would be £10, which is about a 2% stake. But it's all relative to how much your total bankroll is and how much you can afford. You can look at recalculating your stake percentage whenever you like. For example, at the end of each month, but remember that the main aim is to lock in long-term profit. So that is the aim of this series. Let's beat the bookies. Let's make long-term profit from this. Okay, so it's about sticking to a system. It's about having a strategy and knowing what you're doing. That is the aim. Okay, we're not just going to fluke things. We're not just going to gamble, and we're not just going to try and make money, but we're trying actually going to be on point with it, and actually have goals and numbers and everything else. So there was a really interesting thing that I seen, that even if you only make 6% profit per day, right, from your bets, okay, which is super low. Like 6% is pretty easy. Of course, it depends on your bankroll and stuff and everything else, but if you make 6% per day and you compound that over a month or the rest of the year, the amount of money that can actually be made just compounding that is really high. There's graphs, there's things on Google and stuff that you can look at as well that will support that. So it's an interesting fact to know that. But so yeah, let's look at this bankroll builder. They have suggestions as to what we could bet on, what matches and everything else, and there's quite a few here. There's 5 happening today. This is a Friday when I'm recording this, and it'll probably be going up as well today, probably straight after I record this. But yeah, so they've been doing well. Look at February alone, okay? 35 tips have been provided in total, and this is only the 9th of February. They've had 28 wins out of those 35 tips and only 7 losses. Now, nobody can be perfect. Nobody can predict every tip. You know, that's ridiculous. But let's just look. They've got 28 out of 35 tips correct. That's an 80% win rate. Okay. Now you say, well, is that sustainable? Well, look at the results. They've been making profit long term over the years. So I would say it probably is. Well, I don't know if 80% is sustainable, but making profit and sticking, you know, maybe around a 60%, I would say so. Yeah. So what we're going to do is going to be even sort of more next level. Is we're going to look at these tips that they're given and maybe even be slightly more conservative, because, you know, there's 2 matches here over 2.5 match goals and both teams to score. For example, if we were only to bet on over 1.5 goals in the match, then our chances of increasing become a lot higher. Now, the profit that we're taking away from it's probably going to decrease, but if they're expected to get over 2.5 and they're expected for both teams to score, from what they believe and from the research, and they research all this stuff in detail. They have people working to them full time that do this as well, so that, you know, that's sort of to give you an idea of how successful it is. Now, I do know they will make money probably from these offers and stuff a lot too, but you know, they've got a business support, they've got to make profit too. So if we even be sort of more conservative than that, you know, we can, because one of these bets I like is the draw no bet. Now, some people might not even know how that works. It depends on what your level of expertise is with the betting. But essentially what this means is you're betting on this team to win. Now, I hope I get this right, because I've only done this once or twice. So if I get this right, hopefully it's right. So this means you're betting on the team to win, okay? And if they win, you get paid out whatever the odds are and whatever your payout is. But if they don't win and there's a draw, okay, against Cardiff, so say the score's 1-1, okay, then you get returned your stake. So you've actually sort of one way to win, one way to break even, and one way to lose, okay? So, you know, it helps put somewhat the odds back on your side. Now, of course, as a result of that low risk, your payout isn't going to be as high, obviously. But that's just to be expected, right? You don't get anything for nothing. But yeah, so say, you know, for example, this here team, they're saying they should outright win. So like if we done a draw no bet, similar, you know, thing on these, or on the Juventus to win, or whatever this may be, then we're making it even lower risk. That's what I'm saying. So I don't mean to be talking a lot here, but this is the first series, so I want to give you sort of my plans and my overview for what I expect from this series, and sort of the plans from straight out. So that if you're ever unsure, you can just come back and watch this video and know that I actually do probably cover a lot of stuff here too. So we will be using the Grosvenor casinos for this at the minute anyway. So we will. So I also have a Word document here where we're going to be keeping track of what bets that I am doing. We're going to keep track of my own wins, losses, and profit for February, and we'll just do it like this here. So I'll color code, you know, a match whenever we've lost or whenever we win. You know, probably red and green. That's the sort of the status quo for that. But yeah, we're not playing with a lot of money. £25 in the account. It's not a lot. I was considering putting more in, but sort of my attitude is we'll play it like this, and if we need to top it up, we'll top it up. You know, that's how it'll go. But the idea is this is exactly the bankroll builder. So instead of just sticking £500 or £1,000 in and just going like that, we're going to actually try and build up to hopefully somewhat of a relative balance between £300 or £500 would be good. So let's go to the sportsbook and let's take a look at these matches and see if we can get them. So I'm actually going to drag this over to my other screen so I don't have to keep opening it and closing it to see what matches I'm looking for. So these matches are all happening today. 3 of them at 7 o'clock UK time tonight, and 2 of them at 7:45 tonight. So let's go ahead and search for our first team. Now, the funny thing is, you'll probably find about this is I don't really watch much football. I don't have a team around that I support, so I am very novice to this in a way, but through this has actually increased my knowledge of what goes on in the sporting world, so that's a positive to look at it as well. So here's the team. Here's the odds. Okay, so 1.55 straight out for the team to win. So we'll go ahead and we'll click on that. Now you can see that they're probably expecting quite a few goals. But again, looking at these odds, you have to remember that what the bookies are trying to do is they want a 50-50 split. Okay, so all these odds are doing are persuading people to sort of bet in a certain way, because they want, ideally, it doesn't, in an ideal world, they want 50 of the money going here and they want 50 of the money going here. Or that's different because there's a draw maybe slightly, but there's 2 options, both teams to score yes and no. So they want 50 of the money going here and 50 of the money going there. Is ideally like a 50-50 split is what the bookmakers want. So that's just something to be aware of as well. So here's the double chance. So we could bet on that or a draw. Okay, so the odds are significantly reduced. Let's just open that a minute and stick £5 on it to see what it is. So it's 60p that we're making. So it is pretty low. So we will go ahead and we'll keep with their recommendation at this minute, just because we do want to try and make some sort of a profit as well. But if you're wanting to be super low risk, that's definitely something we could go for, you know. But we're going to play it a little bit more risky the first day going here. Am I logged in? That's what I'm wondering. You know, and we'll see how we go from here. But let's refresh that. I somehow got logged out. Okay, so that's locked in. Okay, let's look up the next team, which is Telstar. Now, the only thing with Grosvenor that I think I've found is that I don't think they have actually got a bet, unless I can search for it here as well. No, I don't think so. I think that's just sort of for teams. I don't think they have a bet because it says here over 2.5 match goals and both teams to score. Unless I'm just not looking in the right places or something, they don't seem to have this bet, you know. So if I wanted to do that, I'd have to put 2 separate bets essentially on that. So so at this point, I'm going to have to decide what I want to do. Do I bet on both teams to score, or do I bet on the match goals? Because obviously the odds are low here at 1.09. Over 2.5 is an option. Okay, I'm going to bet on both teams to score, which is usually, to be honest, it's not one that I like going for, actually. I would rather nearly go for the goals because, you know, it's annoying, for example, if one team gets 2 or 3 goals, but the other team doesn't manage to score any. They're having an off day, they're having a bad day. Because for both teams to score, you need 2 goals to happen. Do you know what I mean? So if you bet over 1.5, then at least if the team doesn't score, you still get a payout in the goals. But I don't know, it's just something that comes to my mind. But we will go with that at the minute because it's really the odds that are making me do that. So it can also show you how the bookmakers can do that, obviously, to try and just persuade you to bet on what they want you to bet on. So it is. So now with this one, the odds are kind of something similar, really, aren't they? So again, I don't know any of these teams. We're totally just relying on the advice given by them. Okay, both teams to score then as well in this one. We'll just keep it the similar. Nope. That always pops up whenever I start to record, so it does. I don't know if it's CPU usage or what's going on, but it doesn't want to support the graphics, I think. Okay, and it's Cardiff they're playing, and it's the draw no bet that we want. There we go, there it is. Ooh, the odds are actually good in that, but they're quite close there, aren't they? Okay, let's try it. We'll knock it on anyway. And we next want Juventus. There they are. Okay, I'm gonna bet on them winning. Let's just take a look at the draw no bet for them. I think we might go for that because the odds aren't too bad. So I would say this is a riskiest one at 1.82, but you know, what's the odds on the accumulator? Now I know accumulators are not a great idea because you're probably going to most times have at least a leg lose. So, but I mean that's good. That's good money, £33, you know. But let's load on the singles. Let's just stick a fiver on each to see where we stand. Yeah, so here we're betting £25 to get roughly about the same sort of return. £36 we're expecting, so it's about a £10 profit. But we're basically going with what they said. Hold on, I need to actually update my sheet then, because we're being slightly less riskier, I think, than what they were giving us in tips. So we're betting on... Oh, I thought I was going to sneeze there. Right, so we're betting on them to win the first one, then both teams to score on the second bet. The third bet is both teams to score. And then Juventus to... Okay, it's a draw no bet. Just because we think that's less riskier. So it is. So I'm actually maybe going to click on this first one and check out their draw no bet as well, because I think that's a good alternative. It would reduce our you know what, we'll keep that one. The only ones as I'm saying, sort of not keen on is the both teams to score. It really is. But we'll keep it. We'll lock this in. So our total stake is £25 and our potential payout is £36.80. Okay, let's lock this in. Place bet. Okay, £25 is set. Close. Alright. So if I go to betting history, we should be able to see it. Okay, there they are. Now, all I'm going to do now is fill in our potential profit over on my Word document. And then that is going to be us sort of wrapped up for 2 days anyway. Excuse the quietness, but it's hard to do this and speak at the same time. Suppose I'll get used to it. Alright, nearly done. Alright, so I'll pop this over and let you guys see what we have. So here's the Word document. Bankroll builder, and this is our matches, and I've updated the bets to correspond with what we're doing. The stakes, £5 each, and then the potential return for each one. So later on tonight, I'll put in green what we have, put in red what we don't have. I'm sure we'll have a loss or two, maybe. But 5 games happening, so the thing is, I think we can afford to lose 2. Like, let's say £6, £6. Yeah, if we lose 2 games, we'll just be under what we started with, you know. So that's not too bad in a way, you know. So we'll sort of just be under break even if we lose 2 games, depending, of course, what 2 games it is. But yeah, so we'll come back probably some point tomorrow. So that means I'll update you on the outcome of the games and then look at what the next bets that we're going to be placing. But yeah, it's hard to know for the series. I just want to take it slow. I want to try and keep building this bankroll up in sort of a low risk way if possible. So we'll see how it goes. But thanks for watching this video, guys. Anyway, if you have any suggestions, any tips, leave them below. Please do get in contact with me, and you know, subscribe, like, you know, everything else that comes along with it. I'm sure you've heard it before. So, all right, have a good one, guys. This is the Sports Hub signing out. Peace.